collective consciousness. The easiest way to understand human collective consciousness is to consider there's a higher level, an elevated level of consciousness, and a lower level of consciousness. This higher level of consciousness, we can identify it when we're feeling inspired, when we're feeling forgiving, when we're feeling loving, when we're present, when we're in awe, when we're in a place of contentedness. We're in that higher state of consciousness. Lower state of collective consciousness is when we're feeling angry, when we're feeling guilty, when we're feeling depressed. We have lots of things. We have anxiety. That's the lower level of consciousness. Now, we all cycle through both the higher and the lower levels, the elevated level, the lower level of consciousness. We cycle through. What we want to work on is maintaining our minds in this higher level of consciousness as much as possible. We want to notice, we want to use our metacognition, our meta-awareness. We want to notice when we're in that lower level of consciousness and then employ some mindfulness skills, perhaps power breathing, or whatever resonates with you as a method of coming back into that higher level of consciousness. It should be noted that both the higher and the lower levels of consciousness are sticky. And the reason they're sticky is that our brains or our minds are creating these strings of energy. And so they intertwine with everybody else's strings of energy around the world who have similar vibrations as us. So if I'm stuck in a lower state of consciousness, let's say I'm super irritated and fearful, and those strings of energy that I'm creating are intertwining with all the people around the world who have similar energy. And we can keep each other stuck in that lower state of energy. So it's not easy to bust out of it, but once we bust out of it, we can get into that elevated state of consciousness. And then we do what we can to get stuck, to stay stuck there. So it's watching where your consciousness is at and identifying what state of consciousness, what collective state you're spending your time in is a super beneficial tool at understanding where you're at, which is very important because then you're able to figure out where you want to go. You know, do you want to stay in that elevated state, or do you want to wallow in the lower state of consciousness? And ultimately, the more skills you become at your mindfulness training, the more you're able to affect your collective, or where you fit in on this mind collective. Let's do what we can to stay in that elevated state of consciousness. It's where we're going to create a better world for ourselves, our families, our communities, and all of humanity.
To become more involved in the Heart Mind Center, join our community and explore our membership options.
Also, check out our podcast, Mindflow Radio.
Mindflow Radio.